Committee on Regulated Industries in Florida has approved changes to the Journeyman licensing requirements effective July 1, 2007. These changes impact electrical work on non-residential construction sites. One key change is the journeyman supervision requirement. Specifically, one electrical journeyman with either a certificate of competency from a registered apprenticeship program or a license obtained before the year 2002 must be present on any non-residential construction site facility measuring 15,000 gross square feet or more. This requirement applies when electrical work exceeding 98 volts is being performed. The journeyman is responsible for supervising or performing the electrical work. There are, however, some exemptions to this requirement. The journeyman supervision rule does not apply to single-family residential construction. It also does not apply to commercial residential construction that is 3 stories or less. Another important update concerns the reinstatement of expired licenses. Any person licensed as a journeyman electrician in the state of Florida prior to the year 2002 whose license has since expired is eligible to have their journeyman certificate reinstated without being required to undergo retesting. The new regulations also address situations where a journeyman is not immediately available. Local building officials are authorized to issue a 30-day temporary waiver for the journeyman requirement. This waiver is granted for the purpose of issuing a permit, but only if proof is provided demonstrating that no journeyman is currently available for employment on the construction site. The aim of these changes is to enhance electrical safety and ensure quality in electrical installations throughout Florida. This is achieved by mandating the presence of qualified and experienced journeymen on non-residential construction sites, particularly when complex electrical work is involved. These new regulations are expected to have a direct impact on contractors, builders, and other professionals working in the electrical construction industry. They will need to ensure compliance with the updated requirements to avoid potential delays or penalties. These changes in Florida law, specifically Section 2, Paragraph F of Subsection 3 of Section 489.537 Florida statutes, outline the specifics. The referenced statute addresses the presence of a qualified electrical journeyman on certain construction sites to supervise or perform electrical work exceeding 98 volts. It also provides exceptions for single-family and smaller commercial residential construction, details the reinstatement process for expired journeyman licenses, and allows for temporary waivers under specific conditions. Section 489.503 is also mentioned, which provides additional context or exceptions related to electrical work and licensing requirements, which may pertain to specific types of projects or situations where the standard journeyman supervision rule might not apply. The Florida Legislature website provides the full text of the proposed changes, and you can also contact the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation at 850.487-1395 for further inquiries. The 98 volts threshold is significant because it defines the boundary between low voltage and higher voltage electrical work, impacting the level of supervision required on the construction site. The gross square footage requirement of 15,000 square feet is used to differentiate between smaller and larger non-residential construction projects, with the assumption that larger projects are more likely to involve complex electrical systems requiring journeyman supervision. The certificate of competency from a registered apprenticeship program is an alternative qualification to a license obtained before the year 2002, recognizing that individuals who have completed a formal apprenticeship program possess the necessary skills and knowledge to perform or supervise electrical work. The requirement for proof that no journeyman is available for employment on the construction site before a temporary waiver can be issued is intended to prevent abuse of the waiver system and ensure that qualified journeymen are used whenever possible. The retesting exemption for journeyman electricians licensed in Florida prior to the year 2002 is based on the recognition that these individuals have demonstrated their competency in the past and should not be required to retest simply because their license has expired. The date of July 1, 2007 is when these changes took effect, marking the point from which all affected parties were expected to comply with the new regulations. The term electrical journeyman refers to an individual who has completed an apprenticeship and is qualified to perform electrical work under the supervision of a master electrician or, in this case, independently on certain projects. These regulations primarily aim to enhance safety and quality in electrical installations by ensuring that qualified and experienced personnel are present on construction sites where complex electrical work is being performed. The local building official's role in issuing the temporary waiver is a mechanism to prevent construction delays when a qualified journeyman is not immediately available, but it is subject to the condition that proof of unavailability is provided. The Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation is the state agency responsible for overseeing and enforcing these licensing requirements. The reference sections of the Florida statutes provide the legal basis for these regulations and define the specific requirements and exceptions related to journeyman licensing. These changes were likely driven by a desire to address potential safety concerns or quality issues in electrical installations and to ensure the qualified individuals are performing or supervising electrical work, especially on larger projects. The regulations may also reflect a balance between ensuring safety and avoiding undue burdens on the construction industry by providing exemptions for smaller projects and allowing for temporary waivers under certain circumstances. The practical impact of these changes is that contractors and builders working on non-residential projects over 15,000 square feet must ensure that a qualified journeyman is present when electrical work exceeding 98 volts is being performed. They may also need to adjust their hiring practices or project timelines to accommodate this requirement. Journeyman electricians licensed prior to the year 2002, whose licenses have expired, can benefit from the reinstatement provision, allowing them to resume their work without retesting. Building officials will play a role in evaluating waiver requests and ensuring that they comply with the regulations. These regulatory changes are relevant to anyone involved in electrical construction in Florida, including electricians, contractors, builders, developers, and building inspectors. Staying informed about these requirements and ensuring compliance is essential for avoiding potential legal issues and ensuring the safety and quality of electrical installations. The rules are intended to improve the overall standard of electrical work in Florida.